Olaf and the Dragon by Donato Leotelli. One of the more colourful legends in Nord folklore is the tale of Olaf, One-Eye, and Numerex. Long ago in the first stage, a fearsome dragon named Numerex ravaged the whole of Skyrim. The dreadful drake wiped out entire villages, burned cities and killed countless Nords. It seemed that no power in Tamriel could stop the monster. This was a troubled time in Skyrim's history, for a bitter war of succession raged between the holds. The Jarls might have been able to conquer the beast if they had worked together, but trust was desperately short in supply. A skillful warrior named Olaf came forward and promised to defeat the beast. In some accounts, he was the Jarl of Whiterun. In other versions of this legend, Olaf promises the people of Whiterun that he will capture the monster if they will name him Jarl. At any rate, Olaf ventures forth with a handful of his most trusted warriors and seeks the beast out, eventually finding Numenex in his lair atop Mount Antpor. Needless to say, it's an epic battle. First, Olaf comes at the dragon with his axe and his shield. Some variants of the legend say that Olaf and the beast battled with blade and claw for days, but were too evenly matched for either to gain an advantage. Most accounts hold that Olaf, perhaps frustrated that his weapons are completely inefficient against the dragon, finally casts them aside, giving voice to the rage that has been building within him. Olaf unleashes a terrible shout. Here again, the stories diverge. Many accounts hold that Olaf did not realise he possessed the power of dragon speech, while others suggest that he had long possessed this gift but wished to test himself against the dragon in martial combat first. Virtually all variations of the legend, however, agree on what happened next. Using the awesome power of the dragon language, Numenex and Olaf engaged in an epic shouting duel atop Mount Antor. So forceful were their words that they were said to shatter the stone and split the sky. Finally, Numenex collapses from a combination of injury and sheer exhaustion. Somehow, and the detail is conspicuously absent in virtually every account, Olaf manages to convey the dragon all the way back to the capital city of Whiterun. The people of Whiterun are suitably impressed with Olaf's hostage. They build a huge stone holding cell in the rear of the palace, which they rename Dragonreach. This enormous cell serves as Numenex's prison until his death. Olaf himself eventually becomes the High King of Skyrim, putting an end to the War of Succession. Presumably, his great deed made him the only leader upon whom all people could agree, and so the land, once again, has peace. As a visitor to Skyrim, I find his tale both fascinating and highly entertaining. It is one of the most celebrated legends of the Nords, and one can easily understand why. It's a story of surpassing heroism, in which a resourceful and worthy Nord does battle with a truly terrifying adversary and emerges victorious by yelling him into submission. The only way this could have been more of a Nordic tale would be if Olaf beat Numenex in a drinking contest. The legend is not without its doubters, however. The bard Svagnir, who lived here during Olaf's reign, wrote and performed an alteration verse that challenged Olaf's version of events. Enraged, the High King threw the rebellious bard in prison and destroyed all written copies of the verse. How I would love to lay hands on a copy of that verse. I admit, I am immensely curious to know what assertions Svagnir made about how Olaf really defeated Numenex. There are a few ancient bard texts that provide one possible answer. These tomes suggest that Numenex was particularly foul-tempered because he was extremely old in all these accounts. The dragon spent his final year terrorizing the countryside before flying off atop to Mount Antor to die in peace. When Olaf finds Numinex, the dragon is too weak to defend himself. Olaf and his men capture the beast without effort, but decide to take advantage of the situation by fabricating a heroic tale. It is worth noting that all Olaf's warriors were said to have witnessed the shout duel, went on to become the wealthy leaders during Olaf's reign as High King. However, it is equally likely that Svaknir had some grudge against Olaf, and his scandalous verse was an attempt to damage the High King's reputation. Alas, we will never know. I leave you now, good reader, with this gentle reminder. A good historian must remain impartial and consider all points of view. Time has a way of distorting our record of events, so the closer you get to the original source, the better. So Olaf and the dragon obviously talked about a huge event in history that led to Skyrim having a new High King in the capital city of Whiterun. This story is very pivotal in Nordic history, yet there is doubt that it's even true. There's actually a quest where we can get the final verse of this book, and if you guys want to see that quest and how to do it yourself, check out the link in the description, because it also provides a bit of backstory as to the verse I'm going to show you guys next. So when we actually do find King Olaf's lost verse, again there's a link in the description for the quest on exactly where to find it, and then you can do the ceremony and everything yourself. But it doesn't actually have the whole verse here, which is extremely interesting. But when we actually get back to the Bard's College, we'll be gifted the opportunity to rewrite it. So let me go through the whole thing, and you guys can let me know what you think.
The copy is incomplete. It's aged to the point that parts are unreadable. And the parts that are readable, well, bardic verse has come a long way since ancient times.
What does that mean?
It means I can't read it to the court. Without the verse, I won't be able to convince Elisif of the importance of the burning of King Olaf festival. If she isn't convinced of the festival's importance, then she won't reverse her decision to stop the effigy burning. It means that the burning of King Olaf, which the Bard's College has held for time immemorial, won't be happening.
Can't we just make up the missing parts of the verse? Legendary.
Make it up? That doesn't seem appropriate.
Nope.
I suppose I could copy his style based on what you brought me, but I have no idea what happened in between these verses.
We can do this. What's the first verse?
O Olaf, our subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numinex, a con for the ages. King Olaf was Olaf One-Eye? He famously captured the dragon Numinex and took him to Dragon's Reach. What did we say really happened?
So we know from this original scripture, as close as we can get to the original source, that King Olaf is indeed a liar, according to this source. And considering he burnt the bard and literally woke from the dead when the bard tried to avenge himself, like, you know, we know that it's probably true. So we can go for something here that maybe makes the most sense. Olaf found him asleep. This is actually quite likely. He was very tired according to the verse and what the historian originally wrote in the original text. He could have found him asleep and just literally enslaved the dragon and then taking him back to Whiterun and just, you know, encased him there in what became Dragon's Reach. Olaf made a deal with Numinex. I highly doubt the dragon would make a deal with Olaf. It could happen, it has been known to happen in the past, but in this case, I'm very doubtful. Numinex was very sour, and I don't think he would have agreed to then turn around and help the townspeople of Skyrim. And then the last option, Olaf was actually Numinex, a dragon in human form. This will give the court the best reaction if you choose this option. Don't choose option 2 because it's actually bugged for this quest, and we're going to go with this one.
I find that highly unlikely, but the court will love it. I'm writing it in.
Okay, what's next?
Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But Solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Strange. According to history, Solitude attacked Winterhold, but this seemed to be saying Olaf reacted. What do we say happened?
So obviously, based on history, it's kind of obvious that the most, truthful point here, and what probably existed in the verse, was Olaf ordered disguised troops to attack Solitude. They did say that the original text, the bard was saying that his plan was inspired and wicked. So it was quite a devious plans by the sound of it. And, ordering disguised troops to attack Solitude kind of gives the idea that he put his enemies against one another, and that's how he dealt with the problem. He could have convinced Solitude to attack Winterhold, but I highly doubt that's the situation considering the history we know of the time period. We know Olaf probably wasn't on speaking terms enough that he can convince Solitude to attack Winterhold, but hey. The last option, Olaf sacked it in dragon form. This will give the best reaction from the court if you choose this, but it is obviously just doesn't really make sense.
No, that's pushing it too far. It's very exciting, but highly unlikely. I can't possibly write that in.
So I failed the persuade option, so I'm going to go ahead and go with he ordered Solitude to attack Winterhold.
It's not the most exciting answer, but the most likely. I'll write it in.
Is that it?
It has a few final lines, but that's all we needed to add.
So there you have it, guys. That is the legend of King Olaf's verse. The lost verse, the crazy king who pretty much, crimed his way to being the leader. And that is why we now burn his corpse as part of this festival. If you guys enjoyed this sort of Skyrim mystery book reading series, and you want me to actually turn it into a series, give the video a like, and I'll leave a link below to the actual playlist if this does ever become a book reading series. It's something that's quite fun, and if there's enough feedback and people actually enjoy watching it, then it's something I'll definitely do for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give the video a like, and you can also support me on Patreon if you really like the content I make. I'll leave a link to my Patreon down below in the description. I've also got an emailing list as well, so if you want to get notified when I release a new video, just click the link to sign up to my emailing list and you can do that yourself. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.